another episode of Our Opinion. My name is Tamika.
I'm Rosalind.
And I'm Kim.
And today we have a special guest. We have Pastor Angela Douglas. She is the senior pastor at Total Release International Ministries. So welcome.
Thank
you for coming.
Yes. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so today we're going to just jump into it. Today's topic is degrees versus non-degrees. I know we all have an opinion on our opinion about this, so let's jump into it. My first question is going to be to you ladies. Do you feel like a degree is necessary to be successful today? Whoever wants to jump in.
I'll start. No, I just feel like it's not. And the reason why I say that is because I have worked in banking for probably 25 years. And I make a point whenever I start a new position or whatever, I like to get a round of who has a degree in my division, because I know I don't have one. So I'm trying to see everybody that actually has a degree, what you have a degree in, and then when they tell me that they have degrees and what their degrees are in, my question to them is always, why are you here? Because I began in an entry-level banking position,
Okay.
And I just was able to build myself up over the years to be able to acquire a certain amount of pay, benefits, things like that. But for somebody who has gone to school for 5-6 years and to come in and you're doing the same thing I'm doing and I'm probably making more money than you is baffling to me.
Yes, well,
that's baffling to me. And then on top of that, especially people who went to school when they were young, their parents paid for them to go to school and they went to school to get these degrees, and then I say, well, why aren't you in the field that you went to school for? But everybody has a variety of answers, and I'm sure you guys all have input.
Well, I have a fun fact. Since you said that, my fun fact, and I think it was the Washington Post, I read where they said that it was like 27% of individuals who are actually working in which they went to school for, like in their major, in which they went to school for. 27%.
That's nothing.
Now the other, percentages, those individuals have degrees as well, but they're not working in the field in which they went to school for. They possibly got the position just because they had the paper, so they gave it to them, but it wasn't what they went for. So, so again then, let's say this then, do you all feel like, so do you feel like education, or at least some college then, is needed?
Yes.
For entrepreneurship if you chose to still work for yourself? So it's like, okay, I'm gonna work for myself, I'm not gonna, go this route, but do you still feel like school is needed?
Yes.
Okay. And elaborate, Pastor
I would
Douglas.
love to elaborate. Speaking for myself, because I do have a bachelor's degree in music. Even though when I first got out of school, immediately I didn't get a job. I started my own business. I was doing piano and voice lessons. That helped me. That still is kind of connected to entrepreneurship. When people asked me what my pedigree was, I was able to say I had a degree. And so I had got like 30 students within like 30 days because I put my credentials on there.
Correct.
So that helped me. And then
Correct.
Eventually I did work in the school system, worked out in Painesville as a music teacher.
Okay.
And so I was able to make good money immediately. So I did get a job immediately. Of course, we know what happened 2008, 2009, the crash and everything. So parents really couldn't afford to pay for the lessons. So I didn't have a choice but to get other jobs that didn't have anything to do with my major. But it opened up the door for me because as soon as they saw that I had a degree, I got hired immediately.
See.
So it made it easier.
Correct.
But I was listening to you, and I don't like to speak in absolutes because everybody has different situations based on their life. But some, because you said they have to come in at entry level too. But in some cases, when you have a degree, you actually make more money than the person who's already been there doing a job. I've seen that too.
I have too.
And that's true.
I
that's very
I
true.
definitely have
So
seen that as
even
well.
though they may switch, it still helps them get in the door. And even now I tell people when they say they can't get a job, they have a degree. People don't know this. If you have a degree, you can be a substitute teacher immediately in a school system, and you can make up to $160 a day.
Okay.
Just because you have a degree. But a lot of people, they don't know that.
No.
I
didn't know.
So well, I would say this for me, because I don't have a degree and I didn't go to college, and I went to a trade school,
Okay, yeah.
cosmetology school.
Oh, yeah.
But all of my children did go to college. So for me, knowledge is power. I do want to say that. But knowledge don't always have to come from the books per se. Knowledge comes
Yeah,
from
that's true.
what
For
God
sure.
give you up above.
For sure.
And so,
Mhm.
to me, in this age, in such a time as this, we need to use our gifts and talents too.
That's true.
Of course, we need to go to school and get the knowledge that we need from the books and education and stuff. But we need to use our gifts and talents as a people, because we get laid off all the time. I remember when
true.
I was married, my ex got laid off several times, and I had to pick up the slack or whatever. But I'm an entrepreneur. I own a business. I own a beauty salon, and I'm a stylist. So I didn't go to school, but I make just as much money as a lot of people who did go to
right.
college.
Right.
And
Minus, wait a minute though, minus the loans
yeah,
that we-
minus the loans and
Right.
stuff
that we have to pay.
Right, but I'm not saying don't go.
Right,
but
we get it.
But when I say knowledge is power, that don't only have to do with going to school,
That's
getting
right.
a degree.
That's
We
right.
have to use what God gave us, our gifts and talents. Nowadays, we need some other type of hustle. I'm just going to go.
Right.
That's very true.
That's true.
And I find that when you follow that God-given talent, you are more passionate about what it
Yes.
is that you do. You
Yes.
enjoy it more
Yes.
because
Getting up
it's
in the
just
morning.
what you love
Yes.
to do.
Yes.
Now, sometimes, I see, like, I had a lady that I used to work with who was a cook or a baker, and I would always tell her, girl, you make the best this, the best that, you need to go to school, this is what you need to do, go to the Culinary Institute. She said, but you know what, Kim, I don't want my talent or what I love to do to become a job, because it's just what I love to do. So it's a hobby for me now, and I'm like, okay, I can get that, but I know that getting up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning to drive to go where you need to go to work, I think I would prefer, honestly,
But
to
you-
stay at home and cook.
But
if
you
that's what I
can't
love to
but
do.
if you call it a hobby, that's what you're making it a hobby.
Right.
Doing hair, for me, being a hair artist, because that's what I call myself, is not a hobby for me.
Right.
It's my work, it's how I make my money, and it's my love and my passion.
Right.
I don't think of it as
As
a hobby.
work.
I have
Yeah,
my
as
good
work.
weeks and I have my bad weeks, but even when I have my bad weeks, I'm still happy. When I wake up in the morning, I'll be like, I'm going to Miracles Beauty Salon.
Right.
Because I love what I do. It's a passion.
And it
You
makes
know,
a difference.
It
It makes
does.
a difference.
Huge difference.
Versus getting up, going to work, hitting the clock because it's like, this is what I have to do. I gotta pay my rent. I gotta pay my mortgage. I gotta pay my car.
It's a
I
type of
have to.
bondage.
Correct.
Yes.
It is keyword.
Bondage.
That's
bondage.
it.
Versus getting up doing something that you actually love
And freedom.
and freedom. And it does. It makes a difference. You have to love what you do.
Well, you should.
Or you should.
You really
You
should.
should.
But
Yeah.
some of us, unfortunately, because we go to college and we graduate from college and we have all these degrees. Like my oldest son, he has 3 degrees, and I kid you not, he's doing well for himself, but he's not doing anything in none of those degrees. Anything. And he has 3 degrees and a lot of bills.
And he's very knowledgeable
afterwards.
though.
Yes.
He is.
But
He
now is
is.
that type of, but
It
now
helps you in other ways.
it will help you in other ways, but then it's that thing versus book smart,
Street smart.
That's
You
a good-
need
that's
a good
point.
balance.
Yes.
You need a good balance. It is so many people who are book smart and
but
so
don't
dumb
have
to
no
the
common
streets.
sense.
No common
None.
sense. I'm sorry. Lord, please forgive me for saying it that way. But it's so true. And then you get caught up in the
That's true.
street. You get
That's
caught
true.
up because you're not aware.
Or you get lost when you do lose a job and you don't even know where to
to go.
begin. You
Yeah.
don't know
Yep,
what
you don't
to
have
do.
no
Yeah.
hustle. There's nothing
You don't even
there.
think to use your gifts and talents that God gave you gifts and talents.
You bring up an excellent point because I actually have something that I'm about to start. I've actually already been helping people, but it's called Do You and Love Your Path.
Okay.
It's a business that I want to start because I talk to people, and just from talking to them, you can tell, what their passion is, and I kind of help direct them. This is what you need to start doing. And so you brought up a very excellent point. It's always best to whatever God puts on you, whatever road He takes you down, whatever you start working on. Like the young lady, I already saw she likes to be a photographer. So whoever her mommy or daddy is, you get her a camera. But that's what you do. Whatever you see, what people really love to do, they have that passion. They have that grit. They can get out there and hustle. You brought up a good point about hustling. They used to call me a Jamaican because I used to do like 5 things at one
Yes.
time.
Hey.
But I enjoyed it.
It's our
Right.
heritage.
And I was
That's
doing
our
like
heritage.
little here and there. But of course you're trying to get the money because we have to survive.
Yes.
But I was happy because right now I'm working at Progressive part-time. And I always say I got to go back to this bondage job. Now I'm only there 20 hours a week and I work from home. But to me it's still a type of bondage
Right.
because I have to make sure that I clock in. You guys probably got to clock in. And then I got to make sure I clock out. Got to make sure I have the right time, my time for lunch, my little 15 minutes. And so over time I told my husband, Renounce Denounce Game Program, shouting that out.
Yes.
And that's another point I want to talk about his job too, because he came home and got a job making almost $40,000 a year within 3 years, with a coming home from being incarcerated for 23 years.
Okay.
So that kind of speaks to what we were saying.
Exactly.
Not one drop of college
But you can do something.
because of his
His gifts and
passion.
talent
Yes.
and his passion.
Yes.
And that's his passion, is trying to save the youth out here, the actual
Yes.
shooters.
Yes.
So-
I remember too, like when my youngest son was in school, I remember someone telling me, you need to take him out of band because he's too smart. He's just really smart, book smart.
Yeah.
And I was like, me being an entrepreneur and me loving what I do, it's my profession and my passion. I'm so happy I didn't take him out of band because he loves what he does. He was still able to go to college on a full scholarship, but he got a scholarship in band. He got a full scholarship in band.
That's what you
And
do.
also he's doing what he loves. He wakes up smiling. Broke. He's broke, but he wakes up smiling.
Well, most artists
But it's
are,
gonna be okay.
but you're rich in other things.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
rich in other
But you have
things.
to understand that and
Correct.
understand what those other
Yeah.
things are and who it's coming from.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hello.
Yep, and that's how my husband is the same way. He is just that's all he would say is, I know I'm creative. I know I want to do these creative things. And he worked and he held a job, but it just wasn't what he wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, I'm in a position where, I can help you go ahead and follow that. And then when it's my turn, I need for you to be there to help me so I can transition out of this. And
Teamwork.
then
Yes.
and that's how we made it work.
Yes.
And that's how we made it
That's
work.
how
'Cause
it's supposed to
now
be.
he's
Definitely good work.
solely full-time self-employed, doing exactly what it is that he loves to do. And now it's my turn. So, and we transitioning through that. So
Bringing it to fruition.
Exactly.
That's what this is about. It's
Yeah.
about unity, empowering one another, positive vibes. It's all about that. And that's
Yeah.
what it's all about. It's about love and helping each other along the way. If I get a couple steps up, now I'm reaching for you to come a couple steps up
Right.
with me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Coretta
we got
Scott
to go back
King.
on. Yes, exactly.
Which is sometimes I say that, like when I get tired, I'll say, because now I'm at Progressive, but I had to do that because when he first came home, because the whole time I was free, I was doing me. When he came home, of course you need more income, so I went to Progressive
Right.
to help him get settled.
Right.
So
Right.
now that he's stepping up, so now eventually, because I'm the
That's
administrator
teamwork.
for Renounce Denounce, but sometimes when I get irritated, I tell him, I'm not Coretta Scott King. I'm not going to, she stopped being an opera singer.
Okay.
And I said, I am not her. I said, but right now, I guess I'll just do it for
Right
right now.
Yes,
Just for
okay.
a year or
Right
two.
now.
Just,
Right.
just for a minute.
now.
So do you want to elaborate a little bit about what your husband does?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay.
So the Renounce Denounce Intervention Gang Program, we actually go out and get the actual shooters that are on the street, problem teens. I think our youngest has been like 9, because now these young boys and young girls are starting really young. So from 9 to 24, my husband, he'll go out, he'll get them, he'll go to the rec centers, different areas. Anyone that has like problem kids, we get phone calls from our friends and people on the street because we advertise. We pick them up. He teaches them more on the cognitive level, their mind.
Right.
So we don't do a lot of let's go play basketball, let's go play football. He gets to their minds about why are you acting the way you do. So we talk about peer pressure, anger. He kind of goes back to like how you, because I talk about, I like that with people. Like I like to find out what happened. Who are your parents? Why are you angry? So a lot of these kids are angry because they're in single family households. They don't have a father, so don't have anyone to teach them how to, get that anger out. So of course now they're out there in the streets. So we pick them up. He speaks to them for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We feed them. It's been a blessing now because now we have more people on staff to help. So now when we teach the class, we have different viewpoints of the different men. We have two
That's
men
good.
that are facilitators that are in wheelchairs, and their story is that they got shot because of their lives.
Oh.
So that hits home to them.
Yes.
So we're kind of refocusing their direction, and then we feed them and good food too. It's not just no hot dogs. They get good food because I
That's
cook.
right.
And they get really good food, and then we send them home. My husband, he has the only game program that has an actual itinerary. The state wanted, so we've been kind of in and out talking to them. So he has accurate curriculum. It's a 10-week program that he did. He started it while he was incarcerated.
Okay.
He was doing his Each One Teach One program. Came out, now it's been 4 years, going on 5 years. We're just now starting to get funded. We've been paying out of pocket all these years.
That is so awesome.
And I told him, because he was getting really tired, and I was saying, no, I said, you got to put the work in. I said, and God is with us, so don't worry about the money, He was getting tired, so it seems like this year, and I said the collaboration is really good, but he was having issues with people wanting to collaborate, which Cleveland, we got to collaborate. I don't know why everyone wants to be an island by themselves.
Yes.
I said that
Yeah.
God didn't
That's
institute that
we
way.
just talked about that when we did a radio show,
You
the
got
6
to come
o'clock posse. So shout out to the 6 o'clock posse. But we did talk about that there as well. It's coming
Because
together.
we gotta
unified.
we gotta come together as one to be able to just lift it up.
And
That's how it
people
was in the
need to see
wilderness.
more positive forces. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like on the streets, like this platform, whatever platform, they need to see
Coming
more
together.
positive forces that's willing to come together, not just
true.
saying we need to come together.
Right.
Exactly.
Hello.
Yes.
Right.
So then back to the point with going to school and seeing how all of that ties in. I mean, what do y'all think about all of the student loan debt and having to all these different avenues? I mean, because I see a lot of stuff where they were saying how you can call them and they'll erase your debt and all these different little gimmick things that they
scams.
have.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to give you some details about that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You can even.
But-
You can.
yes, and I'm gonna give you the floor.
Yes,
and you
right.
can
Because I was gonna go, but I'll
about it
let
and
you go.
Let them have it because
It's real.
It's real,
It's real.
but also I know that there's so many people out there that are probably like us in our mid-40s, and we are, we got this debt, but not a lot of us really know how to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Besides just paying the payment plan that they put out for us, are there any other things out there?
Oh, I want to go so many
Angela?
different ways with this. But you know what, Angela? You
Go
go
ahead.
Yes, Angela.
I want to hear what you have to say. Okay,
Well, because it's a little different. Like I'm spinning it. I'm like all like annoyed with it, because I'm in this.
I'm in it too. But
We all in it.
I mean, we're all
I
in
didn't
it,
go to college.
but-
I'm in it because I paid for 3 children. I had
Oh,
3
right.
children that went to college.
Okay, so
Right, so you in it. You
So I'm
in
in
it.
it.
you in it and you in it indirectly.
Indirectly.
You gotta pay for somebody else.
Keyword.
I'm in
Indirectly.
yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I think for me too, like, if we could touch on this a little bit later, ladies. And I don't know like a lot of details about this, but I do know, in other countries and other locations, you can go to school for free.
Yes.
And it was a documentary that I saw. Oh, I wish I can think of the name of that documentary. It was so.
But the tax bracket
Powerful.
is 53% though. Like in Sweden, the
Uh-huh.
tax bracket is 53%, so they have the money to pay
Oh,
for the school.
I'm telling you, and I heard that it was actually people in this documentary in which I got all this information. Matter of fact, next time I'm gonna find that documentary and I'm gonna
Now,
just put it out there.
In New York and California
school for
now,
free.
it's free. They're starting to do it in the United States.
Okay.
But you have to live there for a year it's a city in California and New York, because some of the ones that had they were slave owners.
Yeah.
They're giving back. So now some of those
Oh,
big
restitution?
schools, it's a form of restitution, but now they're giving it to black students. They're giving them free scholarships. First it started in Chicago, New York, and California, but it's something different.
Yeah.
What
Well,
you're
that's
talking about
good
is-
though.
Because you
That's
should.
good.
People want an education. I guess that's my thing too. You know, a lot of people want to be educated. Don't think for a
Yes.
second that they do not.
Yeah.
They don't have
That's
the
true.
resources. They can't
That's true.
afford to go to school. You have to
It's
spend
very
so
expensive.
much money just to get an education. And there's other locations and places where you could reside and get a full ride or go to school for free. You should not. School should not be this expensive.
You're right.
It just should
Yeah.
not be.
It's just become
It's a
money.
business.
Yes,
Yeah,
money.
it's a
That's all-
business
it's a
for the
business.
schools. It's a money.
Especially with me, like I will say this too, because I'm like on one. So, I definitely want to continue. So I'm a nurse. I think everybody pretty much know that. But I want to go to school to further myself. And like I went and spoke with a counselor, and they were like, you know, trying to see where I was with everything, and a lot of my sciences have expired. So all your like anatomy 1 and 2, you know, your microbiologies and all these different things. Okay, they're telling me, oh, well, all your sciences have expired, so you have to retake all those again. Why? I already have a nursing degree.
So that means you got to pay for them again.
Correct.
Exactly.
Why? I'm
That's
trying
why
to
I
go
want you to take
further.
them again.
Why? So they've expired, and I have to take these again.
That's about money.
It's all about
I don't have to
money.
go back to learn about chords and music. It's the same.
Correct. So it really has stopped
That's
a lot of, you know,
Wow.
nurses who are trying to progress. I will say this, and I'm going to shout them out, like the Kent location in Twinsburg. One of the counselors there were really, really nice and informative and very helpful. And she told me they were going to see about getting that overturned. Like, I guess
Yes.
it was already in the works. And I went to them like a while ago, and she called me back in June, and she was like, it did get overturned, but not until 2020.
So you
now,
got 2 years?
correct. So now I'm faced with, if I want to finish, you know, further, do I wait or do I say forget it, go ahead and pay? So, you know, you have to weigh your options out, kind of like how you were telling me with the whole renewal process, you know, what we were talking about previous, but you have to, you know, weigh your options. But nevertheless, I'll give you the floor.
Well, at least with you weighing the option, because it's already 2019, you might as well say, maybe you could take one class while you're waiting for the overtime. Because at least
Right.
that kind of get you in, even though you have to pay for it. I wouldn't
It
be happy
shouldn't be
about
that
that.
expensive.
Correct.
Right, but maybe
Yeah.
just do one class, because that'll kind of keep you motivated. And
Yeah.
but yeah, because you brought up about the loans. They have this repayment program that you can be on it's 20 years repayment, but it's based on your income. So I found that out, which is a blessing, because for people that owe over $50,000, if you only have to pay $50 to $100 a month, you may only really be paying $10,000 or $20,000. So it's still a blessing to get on that.
Yeah.
But the programs, when you get those phone calls, do not answer the phone, because that's what you brought up. Do not answer the phone when they get on the when they're trying to say we can help you in the program, because what they do is they actually charge you every month. They're tacking on money. Those programs, when they call
So they
you,
like debt settlement companies pretty much. So
Oh
they
my
basically
goodness.
consolidating your student loan debt, and then you pay them to consolidate the loans.
that's one.
Okay.
What they're doing is they're going right online. It's a one little form you fill out. Go right online. Take you 5 minutes. It puts you automatically on the forbearance, not the forbearance, but the forgiveness, the 20-year forgiveness. They charge you $40 a month to do that form. So you're
Really?
paying $10,000 to them over the 20 years. That $10,000 is not going towards your loans. You're paying them to fill out that form that you can go online and do yourself.
And we should find that form and put it up on the website. Or put it up on our Facebook.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're
Yeah,
happy.
It's
that's
through the
all.
Department of Education. So
Oh,
what you
okay.
would do, I forgot the website, but the only thing you're doing is you're putting yourself on it. Now, if you do make a pretty decent income, you'll have to pay. Let's just say your regular payment is supposed to be $50. What they do is they charge you $40 for them plus your $50.
So now you're paying 100
90.
share.
So now you're paying
Yeah,
more money as
yeah.
opposed to just going to the state yourself. It's so easy. You just fill out the form. The loan company, whoever you have, Sally Mae, they do it's Navient now. They
Yeah.
do everything. They send you a piece of paper in the mail saying you've been approved. This is what your payment is going to be. It's one simple form online. And
Yeah.
these
Wow.
companies,
So
so
let
when
me
they call
ask
you,
you
it's a
this.
scam.
So let me ask you this: when you get finished paying off the loan that they tell you that you're supposed to pay off, I remember my daughter telling me that they were still taking money out of her check. When do it stop? Because they were taking it. It was going through direct deposit. They was taking it from. So when do it stop? They
When
was
you
still
shut down that
taking
direct
money.
deposit, because I'm like, wow, it's a wrap.
I don't know.
I may cut you off before time. You start
Wow.
taking too much. I can't see you.
So she probably needed to
Oh.
manage, her account to
Huh.
make sure. But she was just like forgetting to pay. So she was, direct deposit is easier like that. But
Yeah.
she wasn't thinking about it until she got this
Oh no, they gonna
piece of
take it
paper in
until
the
you tell
mail.
them no.
And
Yeah.
basically they owed her afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You just gotta stay on
Yeah,
top of things.
because
That's
they
why I don't
just
set
kept
stuff
taking
up.
her money.
Wow.
The only thing I set up on direct deposit is my insurance. I got to make sure.
I know that's right. And they always ask you, would you like to?
I'll pay a little bit
I'll
more.
pay.
Yes, because they'll
I'll
get
call
you
you
and they
and
would
don't
not
call
stop
me.
it. They would not stop it. Ashley said they owe her.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's ridiculous. Girl, they be out to get you. They get you coming and going, don't they?
Yes,
Coming
they
and
do.
going.
Wow.
So, so now with that being said, I think we have a lot of people that I want to say just didn't want to go to school. Like me personally, I always told my mother and them, I helped you out because I knew I wasn't a school person to begin with. I didn't like high school, so
silly.
I knew college was not going to be the thing for me.
But it's so true.
And it's the truth. I have always, and I have tried it 2 or 3 times. Let me just say, but I know that I'm not a school
It's not
person.
for
It's
everybody.
not for
It's
everybody.
nice to know that you know.
And so, and I knew it at an
That
early
show you how
age.
smart that you really
Yeah,
were.
exactly.
I knew
Not
that
to waste
at
the
an early
money.
age.
That's right. She
Yes, I knew early. So I moved away and learned life lessons
Right.
first. And now that I am older and now that I am, really kind of put in a situation where, you know what, if I want to grow old gracefully, if I want to be able to retire gracefully, with the way that the world is going, to me, it seems like it's going to come to where there's people that have money and there's people that don't have money. And there's not going to be in between.
Yeah.
So for me to be able to, feel comfortable and continue the lifestyle that I want to live and be able to do the things that you dream to do as a younger person as you get older, I feel like now is my time. Mm-hmm. Now is when I have to do it. And it took for me to get this old to realize that education to me is state specific. As I was telling you earlier, it depends on where you are, what is booming in that area,
That's true.
and then it also depends on what you feel like you're willing to do until you get retired. I saw it's funny, I saw this comic strip. T.I. actually had this little thing on his Facebook. I follow him. And it was a picture of people that were going to work on a daily basis, and they were all standing in line, and everybody in the line was tired, had frowns, they wasn't happy, they didn't want to go to work. And then when they got to the door, it's this box at the door, and inside the box it was like hangers where they put it on top of their head, put it in their mouth, and it make you smile. And this is how you hold a smile on your face.
Now that's deep.
And I saw that probably 3 months ago, and at that moment I knew that I would never go back and work for another company again unless it was detrimental to our life.
Mm-hmm.
So education does come at a time. I think
Yes.
that everybody has
At
a
a
time
time.
where they recognize you rise to even be able to get where you're going. You had to get the formal training. So
Right,
it
so that
was
was
hard.
education.
That was your
education.
Yes.
Right.
It was definitely education, but it was a gift too that
Oh,
was
right.
within me. That comes
That's
from
true.
my heritage. My mom did here. My grandmom did here. Like that
Right.
was a love that I had when I was a little girl. When me putting on the heels, walking around in my mama heels, and I have 4 sisters and playing in my sister's hair and my baby. It was just
So you had to get the
something-
paper for
Yes,
the states.
but I
To
did
be
have
able
to
to do
get
that.
the paper for the
Correct.
You
Right.
had to
state
get
to
a formal
called
education
Yeah,
because
right.
I went to cosmetology school. That's
Yeah.
how I went to cosmetology
Right.
during high school, and when
Yeah.
I graduated from high school, that gave me the opportunity to go in and start like working into
In a
a
salon,
career. And I
yeah.
worked in a salon
Sure
did.
for a
Thought I
little
was gonna
while,
do hair.
but that wasn't what I
What I
wanted to
was
see. I don't
doing
like
has
to do
to be a
my own hair,
passion.
so therefore.
Right.
I'm not like a hair person. I just can't. I like it, but I don't not like that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing because
Yeah.
hair run pretty much cosmetology
Yeah.
is something as a black woman, as in our society, that's what our parents did. That's what our grandmas did.
Yeah.
I remember, and you have your hair is gorgeous, so I know you had somebody in your family that it was our
I
grandmother.
actually everybody thought I was going to be a hairstylist when I was young because I did every once in a while.
Yeah.
But because my brain, everybody always put me as a smart person.
Uh-huh.
So it was almost like I was forced to go to school.
Yeah.
So early on, I wasn't taught do what you love.
Yeah.
You going to college.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's how
see,
my
that's
sister
what
was.
people-
My sister
people
had
do
that.
Yeah, I
And
didn't do
people
my
do
children
do
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
I did
You're
not
gonna go
do
to
my
school,
children
you're
like
gonna
that.
do this, I want you, because they want to guide, right? Like, so let's play devil's advocate. Because I love that. Somebody give me a challenge. No, because parents will tend to do that. I think sometimes I feel like I've fallen into that a little bit. Look at my daughter looking at me. So, because we love our kids, right? And we feel like we've lived. We feel like we've been out here like a lot longer than they can even begin to know
That's true.
anything about. So it's kind of like you want to kind of guide your kids. So she's like, nah, I might be a nurse like you, and I'm like, nah, be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Go above me. So I'm always
Definitely want to say
trying
that.
to-
You supposed to
Nurse
do.
Yeah.
practitioner.
or even an MP. So I'm just like, so I don't know. We do that. So I do that.
I
to her.
see if I see the passion in that child. I have 4 children. If I see the passion in that child and what he wants to do, like I said, my youngest child, I wouldn't have dreamed. He told me he wanted a guitar. I think he was in the 4th or 6th, 5th grade, and I'm like, you want a guitar? I can't afford no lessons for one thing. I bought him a guitar,
And he
from
learned on
then
his own.
He learned on his own. That's when I put him in. I started paying for it. He went to school, and I think he started playing the trumpet first. The trumpet, the school taught him how to play that, and he plays every instrument there
I
is.
love that.
So when he did graduate from high school and he went to college, someone told me, he don't need to be doing this and that. He's too smart. He needs to be a doctor. He needs to be a lawyer. And I'm so glad I didn't listen to that person and I allowed him to be himself.
Correct.
Yes.
Because I knew he
Freedom.
wasn't going to be happy
Right.
with, he could have got through medical school probably, but he still wasn't going to be happy.
And it's
You
not
know.
that you can't. Money do not
That's
make
right.
you happy. It is so
Freedom
many
versus bondage.
people
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
that
true.
right. And
I like
they
that.
look at Michael
I like
Jackson.
that.
Look, just all kind of people who
Yes.
had everything. They're
But
not
not
happy.
happy.
You're
Yeah.
not happy because
It's
money
not
does
happy.
not make you happy.
It doesn't.
Love, compassion,
Yes.
family, friends.
Yes.
Those
You
are the
need it to
things.
survive, but you shouldn't make it the most important.
That's what the man
essential,
said
right?
on the radio show. Well, I forget what Dave said about don't chase the bag.
That's right. He sure
said,
did.
He said, "Don't chase the bag, chase the passion."
That's right.
Because that's what's gonna fulfill you
Yes.
in the end.
Yes.
And I heard him when he
did.
said
I
that.
did too.
And it's
And-
God driven because we're built with that. That's
Yes.
in us.
Yeah.
Yes. So to me, it sounds like even though education is something that's definitely needed,
Yes.
whether you are entrepreneur or you want to follow that education, I'm going to be a doctor, I need to go to school 20 years, whatever the case may be, I think that it plays a part in everything, but
Yeah.
we just have to be smart in how we use it. Because I mean, you could spend $100,000 going to school, but like we found out, it don't really necessarily make a difference, because there's plenty of people that go to school that's still underpaid, or how do they say, you are overqualified
Yes.
or something like that.
Oh, it's been a lot
And I
of
don't know.
instances with
Yeah,
I don't know if
qualified.
it's like, I'm going back to what you said. I've been sitting here like, I don't know if it's necessary. It is needed, but it's kind of like in which way. I think it's kind of like the way Angela said it. Because really, it's a lot of smart people like that show T.I. is doing. He have people who got paper, he have people who don't have paper at all.
Uh-huh.
He's just giving them both an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's really needed. If you got it, you just got it. Where it is needed, though, is to get your foot in the door. Not so much of knowing anything, like the way she said it. She had what she had, and she felt like a degree was needed, but where it really helped her was for other people. It was like the credentials helped her for other people to be like, okay, I'm gonna go to her because she has this.
Right.
So that's where the paper helped her. You see what I'm saying? It's already within people anyway.
Right.
It's really like the paper comes in for those people. Like some people just need to go to school and they're really getting everything they got from school.
Right.
But we're talking about degrees versus non-degrees, people who just, it's a natural talent, it's just something they just have. It was nothing that needed to be taught to them. Where the paper helps them is not for them. It's to prove themselves, I believe, for other
That's a good
people.
point too.
To be
Yeah,
like,
I
okay,
understand.
I'm
I
gonna go to
understand what
her
you're saying now.
because she had this, and that's what's proving to them that she know a little something.
Especially if
Yeah.
you don't know them, because nowadays
You
it's
see what I'm
about
saying?
who you know,
No.
even
Oh,
to get
yes.
a job.
Right.
So
That's true.
if you don't, because if it's who you know, your family gonna get you in there. If they know, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, your friends. Gonna,
Right.
But if you don't know, that's a valid point.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I
Definitely,
totally
definitely.
agree with
So
that.
that's where I'm at with that. You know.
Well, and then I bring up a point because one time Larry and I were having a conversation, and he's self-employed now, and then there were certain things that he was about being self-employed or being in business because he didn't go to college, that, you know, he thought that maybe I should take a couple of courses just to brush up on some of these things that I don't know, or maybe they can enlighten me a little bit better, because maybe that's what I'm going to need to help me get to this next stage. So it may not be that you need a full on
Degree,
right.
Agree,
but you
just
just
the
need
knowledge.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a few classes
Yeah.
here and there based upon the different things
I
that
did
you
that also
want to
because
do.
I did not need a business degree or anything to open up a salon with my cosmetology license, and I opened up a salon. But I remember when my ex, he was like, I just was getting bored and I didn't know what to do with myself. I went to dance classes and, you know, doing some things I like to do. And he was like, why don't you just go back to school? But that wasn't for me, you know, and he was doing all of that. But he took and paid for me to go. So I took a couple of classes, business classes at Tri-C. First I had to do like some prereqs with the math and stuff, and I was like, now come on. I'm, you know, the English and all that, I'm trying math. I don't really, you know.
That's me. That's me. This is why I don't want to go. This
The only
why-
thing I want to do is do addition to add my money.
Oh, and that's it. That's what I tell them.
We got that
Discounts
already.
and
We
money.
got that.
Before 12th grade.
That's
But
it.
I
I'm
did
right.
appreciate that, and I want to say too, I did enjoy going. I did enjoy
Because you
going.
meet people.
Because you network and you
Networking.
meet people and
Yeah.
you're around other people that's, you know, kind of like on your level. You know
Helps
what I'm saying?
communication.
Right.
So I
So you get all that
appreciated
from
that
school.
part
Yes.
of it. I did appreciate
That's
that
good.
part of it.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I mean, I think that's and that's why I'm doing it. I just said I got to figure out something. But yeah, I'm about to start with these prerequisite classes, and I don't get it. I just let
This
me go.
one.
Let me go to what I was going to come here
No,
for.
you have
it
to do
just
the
do not
prereqs.
work that
What?
way.
When I leave, am I gonna need to learn how to do
It doesn't
pre-algebra and
matter.
algebra and calculus?
But
and
what
all
about
that
your
stuff?
child? You can help them with their homework.
Who child? I ain't got no
have
kids.
to
No.
And I'm gonna tell you something. My daughter,
I babysit
that's
though. I
mine.
will
Yeah,
babysit.
she will. She come home with stuff. It's to a point I don't even have to help her. These kids are so well advanced.
Oh, so I'm good, so I don't have to worry about
Shout
my
out to
son.
Solon Schools.
Yeah.
That's where.
Cause she is the bomb.com. I remember when I was
Yeah.
taking statistics. I was listen, I got a B. I was like, hey, Janae, what are you doing in school? She helped me on a few
They
things
doing
with
the
my
same
stats.
thing. You see what I'm
I
saying? These
definitely
kids,
do
they
that.
we don't have to do that. If you go and open your child book up right now, you'll be looking at that book like, what in
Right.
the world?
Even in the fourth
is
and the
this?
fifth grade, we're not
What
talking
is
about
this?
senior high school. We're talking about
Yeah.
fourth and fifth grade, opening up a math book and
Yeah,
was
because
like,
they're learning cones and shapes like in kindergarten now.
yeah, because we did general
We didn't
math.
get that till 4th and 5th grade.
General math.
Because I substitute
That's
for
what
a long
public
time.
school
Yeah.
And when I would go
work.
in there, they give me the teachers, they leave what I'm supposed to do for the day. I was like, cones and shapes. I had to study for like 10 minutes.
So that's, almost like the 3.14 pi and all that kind of stuff. Is that a little algebra too?
3.14 equals pi.
I
Look how she
remember
pulled it
that.
out.
Yeah, but at least you remembered it.
Right,
Go ahead, girl.
Okay.
At least you
Some
remembered
things
it.
stick because you don't like it. It's like when you don't like something, you remember
I didn't like
it.
that either.
I didn't like pi either.
Square roots.
Right.
What's square root of 25? 5, all that.
Where's that gonna come in when I'm at Nordstrom? Where?
But you may decide you want to be a scientist. Oh, this is a good point. What about women? Wait.
her.
What about women now who create their own soaps, their own lotions? You're gonna need to know those numbers when you're trying to do your science.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true.
And we're not taking away from Hidden Figures because
That was a good one.
that was an excellent
Yeah.
movie, so we're not going to take away from
Oh,
our
they
sisters.
were. They
No,
were fine. I like that. They were fine.
And that's a very good point, and I'm
Yes.
not going to
Yeah,
take
we're
it.
not taking away from them.
But you know what? But when you think about it, that's what they love. They love to count. They love to do them numbers. They could see that.
And
they,
was
that-
confident.
them numbers was going in their heads. I
Right.
mean, but people that are mathematicians like that, that's how it works for them.
Yeah,
Their
that's true.
minds just click. I mean, there are some people who go to school and they can listen to what the teachers say and come back, and it's a breeze for them.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just
Don't even
they're-
have to open a book.
They
I
don't
have a
even have to-
photogenic memory. Like when I used to take tests, I
Yes.
could see the picture
That's my son.
of what I studied. It's not, but I had to look at it the night before. I could just listen. I really didn't have to study. I could just look at the paper. Then I could look at it if I needed to remember something on
You
on
see?
something
I
white.
had to
could
study.
see.
That's my
That's
son.
not
I used to
me.
be
I'll
so
get
mad
that
because
A.
he didn't do any
But I
homework.
had to work
for it.
I had to work
for
for
mine, baby. Everything I get.
I get
But
it.
see how
I
he had to
gotta
do the
work.
homework though. We have to put the work in. So
But
that
he
still
used
goes
to-
back to school. My father only has a 6th grade education.
Yeah,
but
my
you come to
parents
find out
also.
he's a genius.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You see?
Because
That's in our
because
bloodline.
they used to, it's
Yes.
in the bloodline, and they
Yes.
used to read every day and read their newspaper. Because remember
My
when we
father
had
does
the
read
independent
newspaper every
woman
day.
set,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
mom and my dad, I told you they had like 8th grade educations, but both of you could.
He went back
Nobody
to
could
school
do anything
later
with them.
to try to match my mother.
Mhm.
So my father is Mr. Because he's so smart. When he found out my mother, she went to school and she knew how to play piano and everything. So he said, well, I can too. And then he surpassed my mom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
but now it become a competition.
It's a competition.
It
Yeah.
become a competition. And that's always good.
That's
how
good.
I love
Yeah.
competition.
That's nice though. That's a good
82
thing.
and 80 now. They're
Really?
82
Wow.
and 80. He has like 2 laptops on the bed. He just be creating stuff and doing stuff and looking
Oh,
at
that's a
his horse track
blessing.
racing on one computer and creating things on the other.
That's beautiful.
good.
That's
That's
beautiful.
good.
And he's probably doing something that he absolutely loves.
He horse racing and just creating things.
Yeah.
He's like, he used to be the family secretary. Like anything we needed, he would
He
call
could do
and
it.
check on it.
That's
That's
nice.
beautiful.
Multitasking. And I see, you know how you see how your parents are, you realize where you get
Yeah.
All the stuff
yeah.
from
everything
your
that you
parents,
get.
Yeah.
your grandparents. I mean, and now my grandmother is almost 100. And when I go to visit her, I mean, and she tell me like the different things that's going on, I'm like, you know what, I got that. This where I get this from. Like, oh, but you see it.
You see it, even
And
if
really
you want to
appreciate it.
admit it or not.
Yes, you see it. You
Because
see
some
it.
parts I be like, uh-oh, that's my mother
Yeah, it is what it is.
and that's my father.
So then, y'all, I mean, so at this point, like I was saying before, I think that we touched on a lot of stuff that, education can do for us. Some of us need it, some of us don't.
Right.
Like I said, use it responsibly. Take these loans out responsibly.
Yes.
I mean, when you taking the loan out, granted, I know it's a lump sum of money.
Yes.
And it can be tempting to do things that are not necessarily associated with the school. I mean, you want to pay some bills, you want to buy a car, you want to do all these things, but you always got to keep in mind that in the end, they gonna want their money back.
And that's what
So
I'm gonna say.
therefore, you might want to rethink all these things that
Yeah.
you're gonna buy. But I will say we have all made that mistake in some shape or form. So I just want to put it out there to be responsible when you taking
Yes.
these things out. When you getting the credit cards and all that
Yeah.
stuff, you got to look into all of that. But definitely, if you feel like school is something that is going to be beneficial for you and that's the route that you want to go, definitely follow that path. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, follow that path, and sometimes you can just intertwine them both
That's
together
right.
That's
and
right.
then make it be
Yeah,
even
they're so
better.
good.
So,
That's right. That's right.
so that's the move with it. So does anybody else have anything they want to add on today's
Yes,
segment?
because of the segment, I just wanted to let everybody know that we're taking donations for school supplies at Miracles Beauty Salon, coming through Garfield Memorial Church. They're supposed to be having a back to school blast. The donations for school supplies will be at Miracles Beauty Salon, which is 2566 Noble Road, Cleveland Heights, Ohio. So just drop off some school supplies. The school supplies is for a need for not only South Euclid and Cleveland Heights, but Cleveland school children also.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yes. So Thursday, after we did a segment on a radio station, again, shout out to the 6 o'clock posse. Roz and myself end up going to this location called Chameleon Social Lounge. And it's located at 4653 Warner Road in Garfield Heights. And it's a really, really nice place to go. The environment is just very enlightening. Management is very professional. The food is awesome. If you ever decide to go there, I definitely recommend their buffalo chicken dip. That's what I got.
And I had the Bing Burger, and they're also having something this Sunday.
Correct.
They're having a musical something this Sunday.
Just a social event.
Yeah, a social event this Sunday that I will be attending.
And I'll be attending to
And
Our
they're taking
Opinion.
me
Will
too.
definitely be there. But just wanted to give a shout out to them. We do like to take time out to give shout outs to our local businesses, especially local businesses that don't get a lot of recognition. We were blessed to get that by word of mouth. It was the best thing that could happen because we really, really enjoyed ourselves.
Yes.
All of their food is fresh. It's no fried foods. They grill.
Yes.
And it's just, it's phenomenal. So I do recommend going there and trying them out.
Yes.
So that's all I got.
And if anyone has any trouble with youth out there, or if you have family members or any of your children that are involved in gangs, you can go to www.renouncedenounceGangProgram.org and sign your child up or family members up.
Yes.
All right. And then just to finish everything up, I did want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, DCC, Dream Creative Complex. Thank you for the facility. We definitely want to thank our videographer, Greg Houston. Check him out. He's definitely the bomb in his creativity and what he does for us.
Yes.
I also want to shout out Miracles Beauty Salon because, again, without them, we would not be doing what we're doing here.
Yes.
And then just for the people who have given us the opportunity to come on their show and talk about what we want to do, I just want to shout out the Team DLW movement because, again, Daryl was phenomenal in giving us the opportunity to come on. And then Terrence and Dave, Val, Rachel, I just want to thank you guys from the 6 o'clock posse. We really appreciated that opportunity. We want to just say thank you again. We appreciate you so much. Follow up with us if you want to advertise, if you want to sponsor. Go to our, just send us a message, Facebook, Instagram. You can also visit us at ouropinion@gmail.com. So thanks again, everybody. Peace, love.
Wait a second. We also want to just thank Angela.
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
a great
Angela,
time.
for sitting
I'm
and being
glad
here
you
with
did.
us and
Thank
spending
you.
this time with us.
Thank
We're very
you.
I
grateful.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.